Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pager, here once again with another video on Supergirl Season 3, and this is going to be my review for the mid-season finale, otherwise entitled Episode 9, otherwise entitled Rain. Now obviously you might be wondering about the setup, like wow, this looks really weird, it just looks out of the ordinary. Well, a lot of you guys would know I'm actually not in Australia, I'm actually in Los Angeles, I'm on holiday. I will be still doing reviews for the mid-season finales, another video, sorry, when I have the time. But yeah, this is going to be the setup for the reviews for the rest of this week. So if it looks weird, I'm really sorry. The lighting is terrible in this room. I didn't realize it was going to be this bad. But we're going to have to deal with it, unfortunately. But yeah, so sorry if the lighting looks weird. It's just that this is the best I could really do. Now obviously before we jump into the rest of the video, there will be spoilers because we're going to be talking about all the things that happened in this mid-season finale. And there were some pretty big moments. But of course, last episode of Supergirl was the crossover, so we can't really talk about much from that. But before that was a big episode in regards to Rain, and like the birth of Rain, as Samantha went on a bit of a journey and learned about what was going on with her. And then officially, I guess, right at the end of the episode, it was like rebirthed as Rain. The first thing I really want to talk about in this episode is, you know, when Mon-El and Irma, is it Irma or Imra? Irma, one of the two, I can't really remember. Mon-El's wife, whatever her name is, Satin Girl from the comics, they're talking about like what happened to them, like what was going on in the future and stuff, and she does drop the Legion, that Mon-El essentially created the Legion, you know, to fix what was going on in the future, but it was essentially inspired by Kara and what she had done in the past. Now, I can understand why they didn't call the Legion of Superheroes, because it is a bit of a corny name, like honestly, Legion of Superheroes. Bit corny, so I understand why they just called it Legion. It just sounds a bit cooler. But the fact that they now have name dropped that, I think they're going to really, you know, fast forward into like developing that in like the beginning of the back half of the season. So when the shows come back, obviously this is the mid-season finale, so Supergirl is back in mid-January. I think January 15th, I want to say, is the date that Supergirl is back, so, you know, keep that in your calendars. But I'm assuming either in that mid-season premiere or a couple of episodes after that, they'll really dive deeper into the Legion and, you know, their place in this season. But as I did say, last episode was the crossover. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I might be wrong, but was there like no mention of the crossover? Because I can understand like last season why they didn't really mention it too much, because Kara was the only one there. But Alex was there as well. It just felt weird that there was like no mention of the crossover. If there was, let me know in the comments, but I just don't think there was. It might just skip my brain. If it was mentioned, it must have been very subtly and very quickly, because there was really no focus on it at all, which I thought was a bit weird. Because if you think about it, Kara should have probably died in that crossover. She should have died. A lot of things went in her favor that prevented her death. So it was really weird that she did not die. So it's sort of weird that that wasn't brought up at all. Now at the Christmas party for this episode, we actually do get a scene with Alex Danvers and Ruby, who is Samantha's daughter. Now one of the big rumors going into this season, or a couple of episodes into this season, that started to build up, was that obviously we know that Samantha, Ruby's mother, has become Rain. So what's going to happen to Ruby? Because Samantha's probably not going to be redeemed at all, and is either going to die or go on to become an even bigger villain in the galaxy or something like that. So one of the big rumors has been that Alex will eventually adopt Ruby, because we know that Alex wants to have kids, so why not adopt Ruby? And we do see that relationship and that connection blossoming in this episode, and we did get certain hints of it in previous episodes. So if that's the seeds that they're planting, they're definitely doing a good job with it, because I do feel those characters of Alex and Ruby do have some chemistry there. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that if they did that in the future. Now in the trailer for this episode, we did see, or we did hear, that Kryptonian symbols will be popping up all over National City, and Supergirl was really sent to investigate and wondering what the hell was going on with them and what the hell they meant. But this is when we have the reintroduction of Thomas Coville, who was like the leader of like the Supergirl or Rao cult. Yeah, Rao, the Kryptonian god. He was brought back into this episode, which I was very surprised with. I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought that was actually a really good, connection to what they brought back earlier into the season. And a lot of people did think that the cult episode was a filler episode, and even I did say, yeah, it was a bit of a filler episode, but it could have some connections to what they're going to do later in the season. And they brought him back much earlier than I thought they would, and I didn't really think they'd bring him back. I thought they would just use some of the things that they planted in that episode and bring them back later in the season. But they brought the actual character of Thomas Cavill back, which I thought was actually really good in how he explained the whole premise of the Worldkiller to Kara, or Supergirl, and she began to know what the hell that was, because Kara had no idea before that what the hell a Worldkiller was and what they were set out to do. So I thought that was actually really good placing of certain characters and certain storylines in this episode. Now, was I the only one that heard Samantha drop Central City in this episode when she was talking to Ruby? Apparently Samantha had accepted a job in Central City, like in the middle of the year, took Ruby out of school and stuff, and it was like one of the hardest times for Ruby growing up, so I thought that was pretty cool. They did name drop Central City, so I wonder if we'll see Earth 38 Central City anytime soon. Probably not, but we can hope so. Now, one of the parts that I think, I don't know, it just seems like it's forced. I don't know if I'm the only one that thinks that. I don't like hate it, but I just don't really care about it at the same time. That is James and Lena and their like relationship blossoming in, I guess, this episode. It's also been like hinted at and set up in previous episodes. It came to fruition and fully blossomed in this episode with them kissing and stuff like that, and them going on certain missions and James saving Lena's life. I don't really care about it too much, but then again, as I said, I don't like hate it. I just don't really care about it. So it's just in that like grey area where I'm just like, okay, it's happening, so okay, it's happening. But I don't know, does anyone really care about it? Does it just seem forced to you? I don't know, let me know in the comments. One of the coolest scenes in this episode was actually a scene that we didn't actually see Rain at all, and that was actually Rain's first scene when it's her, you know, killing people, and it was very like Batman-esque. Was I the only one that got like Batman Begins feels when she was like, you don't see the character too much, but just like people dropping and stuff like that? It just felt very Batman-esque, like with all the shadows and like people looking around with like guns and just looking around and freaking out. It just felt like Batman to me, and I thought that was pretty cool, and it does fit the character, I guess, the way she looks. You know, all in black with a cape, so Batman. I thought it was actually smart that Morgan Edge had a lead-lined room. If he'd learnt so much about these characters and stuff like that, the Kryptonians, especially Supergirl, like it makes sense that he had a lead-lined room, so I thought that was actually pretty smart. I wonder if we'll see any other characters doing that. I wonder if Lex Luthor had that. Maybe Morgan Edge got some ideas from Lex. Who knows? But the big moment of this episode, and it was a very big action scene, was definitely the Supergirl versus Rain fight. It was a really well choreographed, just well directed, and just well CGI'd fight as well. I actually really enjoyed watching it, and I actually can't wait to rewatch this episode specifically for this fight, because I thought it was done really well. And I thought even when I was in the office building with all the Christmas music going on, I just thought it fit really well, because one way to like extend a fight scene is to add comedic moments that don't take away from the tension of the fight. Like that fight was still tense, even though they did try to add some comedic elements of the Christmas music, which did fit. It was a Christmas episode, and I thought that actually fit really well. Like sometimes it can feel really out of place, but I think in this part, it actually sort of fit really well, and I actually really enjoyed it. But this fight ends up with Supergirl being smoked. She got absolutely destroyed. Now, they did release promo pictures throughout the week, which did basically say that Supergirl is going to get smoked in this fight. Maybe they could have released maybe a few less promo pictures, because it sort of did give it away. But regardless of that, I was sort of surprised Supergirl got smoked so hard, just because of how like inexperienced Sam is. But I guess because she had been put off becoming this world killer for so long, maybe it just built up and she was just, you know, good straight out of the gates. So yeah, I thought it was a bit weird that Supergirl got smoked so easily, but I guess they have to do that so Supergirl can progress this season and then finally take down Rain eventually, whenever that might be, most likely the finale. Now honestly, there was a part where I thought, is she actually going to kill Supergirl? Like I actually thought they might have done something where it's like a cliffhanger, and then like the opening 3 episodes of not next season, but like the mid-season premiere and a couple of episodes after that, it's about bringing Supergirl back to life in some way, because obviously they had all this Kryptonian lore and stuff brought in with Rain, so why not bring in some Kryptonian lore in regards to bringing back Supergirl to life? So I thought they might have done something like that. They didn't do it, obviously, but there was a moment where I actually thought that might be happening. So yeah, you know, they felt like there were a lot of stakes going on in that scene. But the end scene, the big cliffhanger for this episode, and we're like, okay, what the hell is going to happen in this mid-season premiere, is when we see Ruby come down the stairs. This is Christmas Day, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure it's Christmas Day, so it's meant to be happy, opening presents, yay, I got a new bike. Ruby walks down and her mum's there, and then turns and it cuts to black. Cuts to black. So I was thinking, has Rain got that face, that weird face that we saw in at the end of episode 1 when Rain had that nightmare? Does she have like the face like Rain from the comics? Is that what's happening? Is that like when Rain takes full control, she gets that face? Because imagine if Ruby saw that, that would be sort of messed up. So I wonder what's going to happen with Ruby going on after seeing that. I wonder if Ruby will be affected. Maybe Ruby might go evil. Who knows? But that was a bit crazy, and I'm sort of excited to see what happens when we return for the mid-season premiere in the middle of January, because that was a pretty good cliffhanger, along with the fact that Supergirl is almost dead. And she's going to have to be revived, get her health back, and then, you know, Rain's going to be able to do a lot of stuff with Supergirl in the medical bay. So, yeah, mid-season premiere should be interesting to see how it played out, and I thought this was actually a pretty strong mid-season finale. But overall, yeah, as I said, it was a pretty strong mid-season finale. The only real thing I was like, okay, I don't really care about it, was the James and Lena stuff, but I think they did set up some really interesting storylines with Mon-El and Irma, and where they go along with that in regards to the Legion of Superheroes going forward. And then even with like Rain and stuff, but we knew Rain was going to be cool just from the opening stuff we've seen this season. So yeah, the more Rain, the better, because I think Odin Annabelle, who plays Samantha or Rain, is doing a really good job, and just the supporting cast or characters around that storyline are doing a really good job as well. And I think Supergirl has had a really, really solid start to this season, which, you know, I wouldn't say I enjoyed Supergirl season 1. I thought it was really bang average. Season 2 was a step up, but still average at the same time. But Supergirl season 3 has been like very, very impressive. And yeah, they just need to keep going as strong as it has been. I think this could be a really good season if they keep doing that. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below what was your favourite part of the episode. What parts didn't you like? What parts did you really like? Just let me know in the comments. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.